welcome to Match of the Day, in which we follow the fascinating struggle for supremacy going on in the First Division of the Canon League. It's the turn of league leaders Arsenal, who have to withstand the challenge of West Ham United at Upton Park.
Allen. Goddard. Cotty.
Then it's new-look West Bromwich Albion, who take on last season's runners-up Southampton. And that's followed by the October Goal of the Month competition and all the news this week from David Icke.
A high-scoring day in the First Division. 5 for Everton against Manchester United. Everton goes second. 4 for Spurs against Stoke. Spurs go third. And a touch of morning sickness for Aston Villa. They kicked off at 11 o'clock at Leicester, and they too lost 5-0.
It's most satisfying to visit another ground where they're packed like sardines, as was West Ham's Upton Park this afternoon for the visit of Arsenal, who've made their best start for years. A perfect setting for what turned out to be a delightful sporting occasion. Your commentator, John Watson.
Here come the First Division leaders. And what a contrast to Arsenal's last visit to West Ham last December, when defeat plunged them to 16th in the table and led a few days later to the sacking of Terry Neal. His successor, Don Howe, has capitalised up to now on a settled side. But today he's without England strikers Paul Mariner and Tony Woodcock and defender Tommy Caton, all injured. So Colin Hill plays his first league match of the season in defence. Paul Davis is in midfield. West Ham have been rolling along nicely without their injured trio, Phil Parkes, Alan Devonshire and Dave Swindlehurst. So they're unchanged today for a fixture which always brings back memories for their number 4. Because Paul Allen was the youngest ever FA Cup finalist when he played for West Ham against Arsenal at Wembley in 1980 at the age of 17. Referee this afternoon is Alan Seville from Birmingham. West Ham have only had 5 managers in 65 years, but 2 of them are here today. The man in the hot seat now, John Lyall, on the left there, and up in the stand, his predecessor and the former England boss, Ron Greenwood. So a Merseyside derby last week and a London derby this week on Match of the Day. Header by Whitten for West Ham straight away. Cotty to Goddard. Hill got a foot in. Promises high-octane stuff again, this match, in this little theatre of football down in London's East End. West Ham with the best defensive record at home in the First Division, only 2 conceded, and Arsenal the division's highest scorers. But today without Mariner and Woodcock, and there's Nicholas playing up front, number 11, with Allinson. It's a switch they've had to make. This is Goddard, Whitten. He's got support from Walford here. Steve Walford, a former Arsenal player. Indeed, he came on as a sub for them in the FA Cup final against Manchester United. Don Howe, the Arsenal manager. Robson. Hill. Paul Allen intercepting. And it's Goddard if he can help it on, but good challenge by O'Leary there. And Ricks offside against Allinson. And here's Martin. Oh, that's Robson. Here's Whitten. Goddard. And he'll settle for the corner. Now West Ham will push forward Tony Gale and Alvin Martin to support Billy Bonds. Martin's gone almost onto the goal line. Back in by Walford. He's onside here. Goddard, Cotty, offside. Offside, surely Whitten. No goal. Well, Arsenal had to have their wits about them, because when that was knocked back in by Walford, the defence knew their job was to push out, helped on by Goddard and Cottee, but Whitten offside. Talbot, Nicholas. Well, Jeff Pike catching Charlie Nicholas, and the referee decides that the fur has flown for long enough and makes his first caution of the afternoon. Jeff Pike, the offender. This is Sansom. Bonds. Good work by Cottee earlier. Now Pike. Goddard through the middle. It came off O'Leary. And here's Cottee. A goal for West Ham by Tony Cottee. And Jeff Pike takes an awful lot of the credit, because when Pike first tried to get the ball through to Goddard, it was deflected off O'Leary. But when he found Cottee, the number 9 made no mistake. West Ham in the lead after half an hour. O'Leary. Talbot. Here he is again. Allen to Pike. And Cottee's underneath this with Sansom. Stewart steaming up from right back. Allen. Good play by West Ham. And O'Leary having to clear. Stewart again, drove it in for Cottee. O'Leary working overtime here. And again, tackled by Jeff Pike. Cottee the scorer, his 7th of the season. And Arsenal now looking for the equaliser. Walford. Talbot working the 1-2 with Sansom. Allinson. And again Talbot. Determined run. And a fingertip save by Tom McAllister from Brian Talbot. Well, that exemplified Brian Talbot's current form. He took the opportunity to charge on when he could have passed. The shot was well saved. And it's Davis with the header, the flick on by O'Leary. But Tom McAllister justifying his presence again in the West Ham goal in the absence of Phil Parkes. Charlie Nicholas kicked the ball away after the free kick had been given. Billy Bonds speaking in Nicholas's defence to the referee, who decides that a word is enough in this instance. Alvin Martin with the kick. Goddard, Cotty. So Goddard short on the return. Here's Stuart Robson. Nicholas. Pike again closing him down. Hill. That was a bit tight. Davis only finding Pike. Here's Allen. Whitten in support. Got the return. And Jeff Pike's in a good position here. Holds his head, because in many ways he did the right thing. It's a beautiful move by West Ham. Built up by Whitten. Helped on. Pike was the extra man. Jennings narrowed the angle. Pike cleared him, but also the bar. Good long ball by Hill. Pike. This is Stewart. That's a good ball. West Ham have used the full width of the pitch here. Whitten this is. And now Bonds. Chippy little ball to Goddard. Great chance. 2-0. Goddard the scorer this time, and what a good finish. Arsenal's defence is leaking, and Cotty and Goddard taking advantage. He was in the clear, and he drove his shot into the roof of the net. So, the West Ham pairing up front, Cotty and Goddard, both scored their 7th of the season in this first half. Really well taken. Ricks. Sansom. And the mistake puts Goddard in possession. Oh, good 1-2 again by West Ham. Pike. And he's got Whitten on the left. 3 in the middle. Allen at the far post. Cotty. And now Pike. Was it a penalty? The first time shot coming in on the turn from Cotty, and West Ham at the moment can do nothing wrong. Terrific attacking display here. What can Arsenal do at the other end? Robson. And McAllister coming to meet Allinson. This is Talbot. Allinson. Arsenal have got players in support here to the left. Still Allinson. Good effort! Oh, brilliant goal! That's a lovely shot by Ian Allinson, who pulls the score back to 2-1 just before half-time. Allinson, who got his first goal for Arsenal last week against Sunderland, now produces something spectacular. He was always a good left-footed player at Colchester, Ian Allinson, and that shot eluded McAllister. Goddard. Allen is onside. Cotty's in there, and a good challenge by Hill. Deprives West Ham of number 3. Whitten to take the corner for West Ham. O'Leary with the header out. And a storming first half here in this London derby. Upton Park, where you always see a good game, rises to applaud the teams off the pitch. West Ham went into a 2-goal lead through Tony Cotty and then his striking partner Paul Goddard. But just before half-time, Arsenal got one back through Allinson. Well, they're used to good football down in London's East End. A club that's always thrived on a great deal of loyal and local support. And this afternoon, no exception. The West Ham fans in good heart.
Disculpe, ¿ese es su carro?
Sí, ¿es ok?
¿Qué se siente manejar ese carro?
Así.
Get a lot more than you'd expect from Ford.
Some think startup. We think IPO. Some think competition. We think partnership. Some think successful business. We think wealth protection. Whatever your vision, we at Credit Suisse seek new perspectives to make it a reality.
Dental experts are telling us the enamel on your teeth gets worn away because your teeth are exposed to an acidic environment. Juices, carbonated drinks, even fresh fruit. You probably wouldn't notice. The dentist can see there's a thinning of the enamel. There's things we can do. Carry on eating a good range of foods. Go and have a conversation with your dentist. Sensodyne Pronamel helps re-harden the enamel. It's specifically designed to help protect your teeth from acid erosion.
She's the pride of Paris. But she was supposed to be torn down until she became a radio mast, then a TV antenna. And now, millions of people climb to the top and pay for the privilege. Wouldn't you like to find new ways to capitalize on what you already have?
When you've read First magazine, there's more to discuss. This week, Bob Geldof defends his daughter, Peaches. First, a new look at the news. Try this week's issue for only 60p.
OK, turning off your TV equipment instead of leaving it on standby could save you...
£34 a year.
Oh, wrong. It's £46. Never.
No matter how stressful your day has been, the Airwick Lavender and Chamomile Plug-in Diffuser contains essential oils to help you unwind and relax. The Airwick Plug-in Diffuser range with essential oils. Airwick. It's good to be home.
Come into Comet and we'll tell you all you need to know about high-definition televisions and show you picture clarity that'll make you think you're actually there. Like this Samsung 32-inch HD-ready LCD TV for £899. Comet. We live electricals.
za Hrvatsku umre. Ona je razlog mog života.
Oni su živjeli u Hrvatskoj, hoće da se odcepe i normalno teško je bilo sad.
I can understand that Yugoslavian players are very disappointed of the decision of the Security Council.
Da smo mi sad rivali, i sportski, i kakvi god hoćeš.
The last Yugoslavian team, tonight at 11.
So Arsenal start the second half, playing from the right. They've won 8 of their last 9 league games before today, Arsenal. And they'll be pleased to have got that goal back just when the match seemed to be running right away from them. Here's Anderson. Driven forward by Walford. Here's Nicholas. Didn't see much of him in the first half. Helped on by Davis and Allinson. It went short to Ricks. Looking for O'Leary now, maybe. Talbot's in there as well. Robson's header. Ricks. This is Paul Davis. Oh, he made his own luck. Davis for Arsenal. Well, it would have been some goal because Davis had to dribble round about 3 players in different directions to make the space initially. Example of his very good close skill. Forward by Stewart this time, on the chest of Goddard, and now Allen. Oh, and Pike! 3-1! Paul Allen cut the cross back from the right. Pat Jennings could only palm it out, and Jeff Pike thumped it back into the net. And the Arsenal goalkeeper disappointed perhaps, but Pike was in the right position to take advantage. And the West Ham supporters might remember that Pike scored in a 3-1 win here for West Ham over Arsenal last season, and now the score is 3-1 again. And again, he's on target. And again, Stewart. Oh, what good play. Goddard back again to Allen. And Goddard once more. West Ham got their teeth into this match right from the start. Nobody more so than Paul Allen. And Gale. Whitten on Talbot. Robson, Nicholas. That's a good return ball to Robson. And he's charged on. And if the finish had been a little bit better, that would have been an excellent goal for Stuart Robson. Played the 1-2 with Charlie Nicholas. Found his own space amid the defenders, but didn't quite hit it hard enough or far enough away from McAllister. It's perpetual motion, what the supporters want to see. The ball in play nearly all the time, and possibilities here for Allen. Jennings has made that sort of save countless times in his illustrious career. Nobody stops them with their feet more than him. And he denied Paul Allen there. And prevented West Ham from scoring number 4. Bonds is in the 6-yard box, or just outside it now. And that was Bonds! Allinson for Arsenal. Nicholas, little back flick, but Davis the first to it. Anderson. Gale. Anderson again. Nicholas. Davis. And Whitten for West Ham, who've got one on the left. That's Cottee, and he's coming in now. Tony Cottee. Oh, how close can you be? And the crowd here are having a feast of football. Steve Whitten supplied that pass, and West Ham are on their way again. Allen. Bonds. Offside. And the applause still ringing round the ground for West Ham's last attack. But Arsenal have had their share too. They've got to go forward, 3-1 down. Here's Anderson. Allinson. Anderson is still in the penalty area. Nicholas. But while there's a break in play, a moment to reflect that West Ham, for 25 years, have been playing the game the right way, often for the purist. John Lyall continuing here the philosophy of football which was laid down for many years at Upton Park by the distinguished figure of Ron Greenwood. And on the pitch, the spirit's still there with Billy Bonds. Hill was covering. And Davis. Nicholas inside to Robson. Ricks out on the left wing. Allinson. Cottee. Allen to take over. And 1 against 1. It's Goddard and O'Leary. And Whitten's coming up inside and marked number 7. Steve Whitten. Yes, no! Jennings. Allen. Goddard. Cottee. And Jennings, at the age of 39, still showing reflexes to match the best. First of all, he stopped Steve Whitten when he was clean through, and number 4 seemed a formality. And when it was returned, the Arsenal goalkeeper held the ball on the line. Robson to Ricks. And Davis. And Allinson. And Robson nearly latched on. Davis. And Kenny Sansom on the edge of the area. Play on, says the referee. It's all a bit hectic in there. Well done, Ray Stewart. Well done, the referee as well, for letting it go. Jack's gone down injured. Sansom has the ball. Davis. Allinson. West Ham. The supporters roaring the teams on in the dying embers of what's been a memorable match. Anderson. We're in time being added on now for stoppages. And that's Walford defending for West Ham, a corner. And it's Talbot. McAllister one-handed. Anderson, no. Oh. Good save by Tom McAllister from Brian Talbot. And the policemen can't keep their eyes off the game either. Roar goes up at the end of a heartwarming afternoon in London's East End. A rip-roaring derby match with West Ham good winners by 3-1, ending Arsenal's winning run. And if Arsenal were under strength, well, these West Ham fans will say their team have been all season. But if you can produce a performance in a match like that, you'll win plenty of friends. Another indication that football in the Cannon League is better this season than for many years past. So much entertainment. They're used to that down here. And West Ham must now be named among the clubs jostling near the top of this exciting First Division Championship after beating their London rivals 3-1.
John Motson getting excited about that game this afternoon, and he had every right to be. The result keeps the championship race wide open, as well as giving West Ham greater belief in their capacity to win the title. But the most satisfying feature was that in such a vital game for both sides, sportsmanship and goodwill still flourished. That's worth celebrating. We can also celebrate an extra hour in bed tonight, which will enable you to watch the gripping late-night film, The Offence, coming up after our visit to the Hawthorns, where we go now briefly for the match between West Bromwich Albion and Southampton. Your commentator, Alan Parry.
West Bromwich Albion are glad to be home again in more ways than one. Albion have returned this week from a friendly match on the other side of the world in Hong Kong to the ground where they've gained 10 out of their 12 First Division points and scored 16 of their 20 goals. A week ago we saw Albion lose at Ipswich, and in fact it's 7 months since their last away win, and this team shows two changes. With Carl Valentine injured, Mickey Lewis plays his first game of the season in midfield, and Nicky Cross loses his place in attack to namesake David Cross, who last week rejoined Albion after 7 years away from the Hawthorns, in which he's played for 4 different clubs. Well, returning to the Southampton side after a 10-match absence is Ruben Agboola. He comes in because Steve Williams suffered an injury in training. Southampton are also still without internationals Joe Jordan and David Armstrong, but they've now gone 7 league games without defeat, winning their last 3. Today's referee is Neville Ashley of Nantwich in Cheshire. Southampton in the black shorts, kick-off attacking from left to right, having taken maximum points from West Bromwich Albion last season. Mickey Mills captain for the day in the absence of Steve Williams. That's a Southampton throw. And Mills will take it. Baird once more. The referee allowing some really stern tackles to go unpunished, although when Mackenzie was brought down by Holmes, he did blow his whistle and will indeed speak to the Southampton man. Cross's header, and he was being held from behind by Kevin Bond. That was a good decision by the referee. Well, Kevin Bond won't agree, I'm sure. Martin Bennett being pushed forward. There he is, the blonde-haired player on the extreme right of the picture. Thompson and Cross, two big men as well. Plenty of aerial power for Albion. Hunt's kick. Oh, and it was Cross who came to meet it, and at the second occasion he nearly turned it in, and it was off the line by Wright. So, David Cross may well have marked his reintroduction to Albion's team with a goal. Because as the kick was knocked back, it was Cross who won the ball in the air, and then Cross who got to the dropping ball first as well, but Wright was perfectly positioned to clear. Lewis. This is Whitehead. David Cross has really done well every ball that's been played to him so far. Here's Hunt. Robertson. Statham. Wallace comes to meet him. Mackenzie. Now, Shilton makes shots even of that ferocity look so easy to judge, but that flew past the upright. Was hit with some real power by Steve Mackenzie. Lewis. Mackenzie brings it down for Hunt. Bennett. Cross laying it off, but getting an ankle kicked from Kevin Bond from behind. Referee Neville Ashley explaining to Kevin Bond exactly why he's given that free kick and exactly what he'll do if he errs again. Well, they were a fearsome trio as players, if you can make them out there on the Albion bench. Johnny Giles, Norman Hunter and Nobby Stiles, the new management team at the Hawthorns. Grealish. Oh, it took a deflection, and that's taken it for a corner. Grealish's kick. Hunt got up there. Wright was the first man to reach it. Bennett. And now Statham. In towards Cross, but Bond clear. Moran's header. Only dropping for Grealish. And a throw-in. Only seconds remaining of the first half. And indeed, that's the end of a rather lifeless first half, in which, to be honest, the crowd had very little to enthuse over. The football rather scrappy, and one can only say that the second half has to be a lot better. David Cross's effort, knocked off the line by Mark Wright, the only real opportunity of the half. 0-0. Well, Nicky Cross has had to come on for the start of the second half for West Bromwich Albion. Derek Statham, the left-back, has a groin injury, and that's meant a reshuffle as Albion prepare to kick off in this second half, with Whitehead switching from right-back to left-back, and it looks as though Lewis has slipped into the right-back position. So West Bromwich Albion, who finished 17th in the first division last season, currently 15th. And it could have been even worse, but for that fine home record we were telling you about at the start of play. But they certainly haven't produced their best form as yet. Dennis. Holmes. Robertson forward. And off Kevin Bond. Thompson made it hard. Cross. This is Mackenzie. Lewis still getting forward, even though he is nominally a right-back now, and being held back by Steve Moran. So an early free kick in a useful position here for Albion, as Shilton moves his men around. Bennett is over on the far post. It came off right. It didn't really go where he intended it, but there was no Albion man there. Holmes clear. Wallace holding it up well. Moran. And this is Nicky Cross. We now have two crosses on the field. David and Nicky. Both playing for Albion, of course. Number 12 is Nicky. Forward. Meantime, there's a Southampton player. I think it's Moran lying down injured midway inside the Albion half. As Hunt spreads play to Lewis, who did well. Played in field to Mackenzie. Struck straight against Bond. And Moran, there you can see him just in the background, still lying injured. But play continues. Well, not now. The Albion players are angry that the referee has stopped play because they felt that when Southampton had the ball, had they been sufficiently anxious, they surely would have put it out of play. Moran way over on the far side, in fact walking back behind the Albion goal at the moment. There he is with Lou Chatterley, and how unfortunate that the top scorer should have to lead the action as Baker comes on in his place. Really a midfield player, but presumably Curtis will be pushed forward to join Bird. So both teams have had to reorganise in this second half. Thompson's header, Mackenzie, Bird intercepts, and Lewis made the shot, and it came off Bird for a corner. Hunt in a hurry to take it, Shilton in a hurry to organise again. Mackenzie with the ball. Lewis. And Steve Moran goes off with Joe Jordan and David Armstrong injured. One has to feel sorry for the number of key players Southampton have lost this season through injury. Bula fouled him. And the referee's fallen over. Just making sure his watch didn't stop. He did. And something's happened. Perhaps the P in his whistle has been dislodged. No, you wait till I blow. Well, it has been that kind of day, hasn't it? No, still whistling well. Here's Thompson. Lewis. Good header that was by Agbula. Got right in the way. And Wallace being kicked by Whitehead, and an unpleasant melee of players, and the referee will have to get in there and get involved. And how silly, really, that in a game which has produced no excitement in terms of goal-mouth incidents, we should suddenly see a flare-up like that. So the referee's had a busy couple of minutes. Nicky Cross. Well, in a way that sums up the game. The best ball of the match, and there was nobody to profit from it. Good header by Robertson. But that's the end, and no wonder the crowd are booing. Some goalless draws are exciting, but this has not been one of them, and the managers, Laurie McMenemy and Johnny Giles, must be as disappointed as the 12,400 crowd.
Well, a game of noughts and crosses, I'm afraid, but I suppose we can't expect a perfect day, can we? Naturally, West Brom and their supporters were disappointed at their inability to penetrate Southampton's Siegfried line, but in contrast, Laurie McMenemy would have taken some comfort from the fact that what was left of his squad avoided defeat. David.
Well, what an about turn there's been in the city of Liverpool these past few weeks, and that was never more obvious than today, with Everton going into second place in the First Division after beating Manchester United 5-0, while Liverpool, who play tomorrow, fell into the bottom three for the first time for 20 years. Kevin Sheedy scored twice for Everton as they cast United aside at Goodison Park. Heath, Stevens and Sharp got the others, and the teams meet again in the Milk Cup at Old Trafford on Tuesday. Well, Clive Allen also scored 2 as Spurs hit 4 against struggling Stoke. Chidozie and Roberts with the penalty completed the job. But a Terry Gibson goal for Coventry ended Sheffield Wednesday's recent charge and gave them their first defeat in 9 matches. So Arsenal stay top despite that defeat at West Ham, but Everton and Spurs move up 2 places, as do West Ham, while Wednesday and Manchester United do the opposite. They drop 2 places to 4th and 5th. Well, with Liverpool playing at Nottingham Forest tomorrow, it needed wins by Leicester, Norwich and Coventry to put the champions into the bottom 3, and that's exactly what happened. Gary Lineker scored a hat-trick as Leicester walloped Aston Villa 5-0 this morning, and Mike Shannon gave Norwich a happy end to a traumatic week with one of the goals that beat Queen's Park Rangers. The teams changed in a pub for that match after the Norwich grandstand fire 3 days ago. So they're a sight to see indeed. Liverpool 3rd from bottom, although it must be said if they avoid defeat at Forest, the position will only be temporary. Watford are still the only side in the Football League without a home win this season. They drew 3-3 with Newcastle, and that's 31 goals scored at Watford this season in just 6 matches. Well, in the 2nd Division, Jim Smith, manager of the leaders Oxford, went back to Birmingham City today for the first time since they sacked him 2.5 years ago. And his team came away with a goalless draw, and so they retain the leadership. They lead, in fact, by a point from Birmingham, and then come Blackburn and Portsmouth, who both lost today. Portsmouth for the 2nd time in a week. Millwall stay 2 points clear in Division 3, even though they lost their perfect home record with a 1-1 draw against Bristol City. The other Bristol club, Bristol Rovers, they stay 2nd, but Bradford go above Rotherham on goal difference. Hereford lead the 4th Division. They jumped 2 places by beating Wrexham 2-1. This morning's leaders, Chesterfield, drew 1-1 at Chester.
And on Friday, I trust, after riding in the 1252-mile charity flat race at Sandown Park, I hope I shall be in one piece at 7:05 to bring you yet another intriguing match from the top of the Cannon League from Old Trafford. Live, Manchester United against current leaders Arsenal. And Bobby Robson will be our guest, and you're welcome too. Hopefully to see a game with all the qualities displayed at Upton Park this afternoon by West Ham and Arsenal. An occasion to be celebrated, especially by the Cockneys in song. Good night.